God bless.
Inspire the inner graphic artist in you. Everyone can become a professional designer with PhotoJet's graphic design tool. Whenever you feel inspired, you can always create awesome designs with massive templates from posters, flyers, cards, and invitations. PhotoJet meets all your needs to create graphic designs, make collages, and edit photos. Check them out at photojet.com today. With only a few clicks, anyone can create professional artworks even without any experience. Powerful design and editing tools enable you to achieve high-quality
Greetings,
results
Marco.
quickly
Thank you for sharing,
without
man. Much
hassle.
appreciated.
All for free. That's right, free at photojet.com. No download or registration required, effortless and time-saving. Design like a pro today at photojet.com.
This is 990WBOB.com, the home of internet entertainment. From Rhode Island to the world, 990WBOB.com. 990WBOB.com is an independent media company.
Good evening and welcome to Demand the Truth, an hour in time designed to educate, expose injustice, and inspire action. Here is your host, Mr. Will Turbis.
Hello, everybody. Yes, it's Will Turbid back here on Demand the Truth on the airwaves, 990WBOB.com. Feels like I never left. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and sharing the video. If you're watching the video, turn down the audio, go to 990WBOB.com and listen there. Support local radio, not controlled. And, you know, since my last time on the radio, a lot has changed, and new people come across this show and this information all the time. So I'm going to explain first and foremost what the heck I'm doing here. Why am I here? Why am I talking to you? Why am I not just at home watching sports or playing video games? Why am I taking money out of my own pocket to be here? Well, I'm going to get right into it. It's because a long time ago, I was confronted with facts about 9/11 that were hard for me to disprove. And so then I started searching. And then I read the 9/11 Commission, and I watched several documentaries debunking and undebunking and debunking. Then I read a few books, and then I watched a few people speak live, giving a few lectures. And I talked with people that were victims' family members. And then I realized, without a shadow of a doubt, 9/11 bare minimum wasn't what we were told. And so what that means is the people that run our government are lying to us. And they're not just lying to us about like small, insignificant, trivial things. This is something that completely changed the world and caused almost 3,000 deaths that day, countless millions of untold deaths across the globe since that, and as ramifications of that day's event. And then I slowly got into, someone was telling me about this thing called Bohemian Grove. He was like, hey, Will, you ever heard of Bohemian Grove? And I was like, no, what's that? And he's like, yeah, it's this place where politicians, bankers, heads of media conglomerates, all the world's most famous people go and meet in secret, and they have this real weird thing that they do. It's this ritual called the Cremation of Care, and they dress up like a bunch of KKK guys, grab some torches, thinks Charlottesville is bad, they grab some torches in front of a 40-foot owl, and then this human effigy, this mock body, comes down this little river, and they throw it on fire in front of the owl, and they start going, oh, and the owl's like, oh, ah, 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 ah. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Dude, what are you on? And then so I was like, he was like, no, check it out. So I went online, and I went to read an article from Newsweek magazine. Newsweek, obviously one of the most reputable sources in United States history, they have a whole thing about Bohemian Grove. And then all these other people talk about Bohemian Grove, and there's been books, and there's people that have been in there that have talked about it and written about it. And so this was a real thing, and I'm like, okay, now 9/11 is not what I thought it was. And even before, I was like, well, yeah, even if 9/11, whatever, maybe he didn't have it WMDs, but at least they took out Saddam. Yeah, he's a bad guy, right? Little did I know the CIA put Saddam in power in the first place. So all this is going on in my mind. I'm like, what the heck, though? The leaders of our world are mock worshipping an owl. 9/11 was a complete lie. Like, what the heck is going on? So I traveled down a rabbit hole, and then I started talking about this to everyone. I started talking to my family. They hate that. By the way, shout outs to my grandma. Happy birthday, Grandma Turbot. Oh, I'm going to show you guys something dope right now. See this? That's my Grandma Turbot on my socks. Look at that. With shades on. That's pimp right there, alright? So anyways, basically my family did not want, most of my family anyways, did not want to hear it. My friends did not want to hear it. And then there was a couple of snarky people who were like, Will, you talk so much junk. What are you doing? And I was like, touche, fair point. So then I didn't really know what to do. So I started connecting with people on social media. I started looking for people who would write about or on Twitter hashtag about things that I was talking about. And I would search them out on YouTube and Facebook and all these different platforms. And then I would start linking up with them and see what they'd have to say. And then I said, all right, word, I have no idea what the hell to do about this. Let's have a meeting, right? I figured I get my friends, the people that did listen, and all the smartest people I could think of. Let's all have a meeting. So we all went. It was at Rhode Island College, the library over there. I had one of my former teachers from Mount Pleasant come out and support. People from the hood, people from all sorts of people. And then, needless to say, that meeting did not change the world, unfortunately. However, we did have more meetings after that. And then I started doing a whole bunch of protests, rallies. I started kicking off the November 5th rallies, the Million Mass March, anonymous rallies here in Rhode Island. I started working with the March Against Monsanto people. I had my own peace rally here. I was doing 9/11 rallies here or in New York every single year since then. And then, so I was like, all right, so then let's take it a step further. Then we created this little group, eventually turned into a nonprofit called the Open Minds Alliance. And with the Open Minds Alliance, we've done a lot of dope stuff, like homeless drives. We've done live feeds. We sent people down to Dominican Republic and Haiti and helped out people that were affected by the tragedies down there. We've cleaned up city parks. We've cleaned up the hood, the streets, Broad Street, downtown. And then I was like, people need to be aware of this information. So I started taking my little camera, my little live stream, and slowly but surely, I was out there doing things. So I was inside the Deplorable and all the protests. People throwing bags filled with pit, cars smashed, buildings smashed, tear gas, Antifa, crazy right-wingers, all of that. I was there, live streaming from there. I was live streaming and I showed you guys the crazy Masonic Confederate statue of Albert Pike, the Confederate general. People always talking about bringing these statues down, but we have Albert Pike still up there. And not only was he a Confederate general, but he is buried in the headquarters of the Supreme Temple, the Free Masonic Temple in Washington, D.C. So that's interesting that they never wanted to look to take his statue down. But I went there and I reported on that too. I was in the Deplorable. I talked to these controversial people, whether you like them or don't. And that's one of the good things about this show here is, just to jump into it quickly, we are nonpartisan, we are peaceful, and we use a Socratic method. So today I was originally supposed to have a couple guests on, and we're going to postpone them to next week because one of the guests can't make it. But I'm going to really break down what's going on with who I am and what's been going on and where we're going in the future. We're going to set the table for all of our future things. But like I was saying, is I showcase both sides. I'll have a LGBTQ person on next week facing off with the organizers of the Straight Pride Parade. So that's going to be next week. So I cover both sides, and I'm not on either side. I believe both sides, the left and the right, are just two wings on the same bird of prey, and I've demonstrated that over and over again on my show, and we'll get to that. But so in this Deplorable, I brought you interviews with James O'Keefe, Lauren Southern, Mike Cernovich was in there, Martin Shkreli. I jumped up on Martin Shkreli and tried to ask him some tough questions, and he was a real jerk. That's why you're in jail, idiot. Ha ha. I'm on the radio talking. I'm free. I can go get a taco after this, and you're in jail, idiot. How's it feel now? Sorry, personal beef there. All right. So and then while I was down there too, I went to Comet Ping Pong Pizza. After the whole quote unquote Pizzagate, Pedogate thing broke out, I went down under there. And then afterwards, after I left, there was an impromptu protest by some people, and then people came out. Then there was a dance party. Then kids started dancing on tables to "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It," and then I have people on video, YouTube.com/Demand the Truth. Multiple people hailing Satan at Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Really weird, bizarre stuff. And then I started connecting with people from India and Pakistan. Anybody that knows even a little bit about geopolitics knows that India and Pakistan, they're not the best friends. You know, they're like the Red Sox and the Yankees guys, okay? They hate each other. They went to war. There's still terrible things going on. But I've reached out to people on both sides. I was on a few of their shows, and that's one of the things, whether it's the left or the right, whether it's India, Pakistan, or whatever's going on, whether it's straight, gay, abortion, pro-life, I want to be able to sit here and have those conversations with people and us be able to speak it out so it doesn't resort into one of these crazy, violent things that we've seen in other countries and in other regimes throughout time and still continuing to this day. And then after that, I was like, okay, people talk about, well, we got to expose the power structure. We got to find out what's really going on here. So I took you live with multiple videos to the real power structure of this world. That's the Bilderberg Group. And I was going to jump into this a little bit later, but right before this break, I'm going to get into this because this is very, 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 very important. Anybody that's unaware, the Bilderberg Group is 100% real. Now, I was talking about the Bilderberg Group for years, and they called me crazy. People, my family, my friends, all these people would say, "Will, you're crazy. Oh, Will, you?" People talk about the power structures like, oh, the Koch brothers, oh, George Soros. The biggest power structure that we know of, that's on record, I'm sure there are probably ones above that don't make themselves known, is the Bilderberg Group. Now, the Bilderberg Group was first caught meeting in 1954 in Oosterbeek, Holland, and they were named after the hotel that they were caught meeting at. Now, every single year, since at least 1954, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 years in the late 70s due to a couple protests there, they have met. Now, who are they? They're less than 150 of the world's most influential people ever. We're talking about heads of the IMF, heads of the Federal Reserve, presidents, prime ministers, banksters, the largest people, the most important people in the world. And this group was created by the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the royal family of England, the royal family of the Netherlands, and 2 Nazis. So Antifa's out there like, Nazis, Nazis, go away. Well, I took you to the real power structure of the Nazis. It's the Bilderberg Group. And it's really weird because people like to protest and get up in arms and stuff and hate the president and hate Obama or hate Trump. Well, you know, we need to look at the real power structure. And it's interesting because Angela Merkel was a nobody till she went to Bilderberg. Next year she was head of Germany. Emmanuel Macron was a nobody except for a Goldman Sachs Rothschild banker. And then he went to Bilderberg. Then he was the head of France. Same thing with Tony Blair. Same thing with Bill Clinton. This is the real power structure, and I took you to that. I live streamed that. I showed you guys that, and I'll be back there too. It looks like I got about a minute or two to break. I haven't done this in a long time. I'm looking a little rusty, but I guess the music's not coming in yet. So it's got about a minute to go. But on the other side of things, we're gonna get into my other escapades and sort this all out. And thank you guys for sharing this. Please, please, please share, and I'll be right back. And I'm going to talk about the Bilderberg Group and Seth Rich and so much more. DCYF, CPS, I'll be right back. 990WBOB.com, Demand the Truth. Let me go grab a water. And the United States loves you, Roger Hop. Marco, thank you so much for forcing these guys to push this live stream. That is one of the most important things that you guys can do. Thank you so much. I'm going to grab a quick beverage.
Sounds like you need a night out.
You think so?
Yeah, you sure do. You need to go to a place with great food, delicious craft brews, and with all the big games.
You mean
That's right. You need Legends Pub and Grub.
Legends is perfectly located in the heart of Cranston at 1458 Park Avenue, featuring a delicious menu with weekly specials.
So guys, if you guys are watching this during the break, I'm going to ask you again later, but
Not only my neighborhood,
I pay out of my own pocket to do this show. One of the reasons I could not do this show last time is because, hey, I work, I do all this stuff that I'm talking to you guys about in my free time, and I pay out of my own pocket to do this, so I just couldn't afford to keep doing that, so it's one of the reasons that happened. So if you guys could go to my Patreon, Patreon.com/Demand the Truth, even just donate $1 a month, that would be $12 a whole year, and if I had everybody doing that, shoot, I could quit my job and work for you guys full time, and you guys know what I'm about. You guys know the work that I do, and I think I could be far more effective. But if you don't even have $1, and I know some people don't do that, I live paycheck to paycheck myself. Full disclosure here. So if you can't do that, do like Marco, do like Brandon does. Share the video. Thank you very, very, very much for sharing this video. This is a time in our country and our world that things are starting to get better in some ways, and things are starting to come apart. And we need to be there, to let people know what's really going on. Because now that people are waking up, the left are trying to hijack them, and the right are trying to hijack them. We need to let them know what's really going on. So thank you guys. If you can't donate to my Patreon, share, start your own group, start your own video, start your own community garden.
Wake up. And I say that and people laugh at me. That's the Rotunda. Every Monday on 990 WBOB.com. I don't know if I read that.
Tune in to Well Played, 990 WBOB's source of wild nerd news and entertainment. Magic Michael Fox and me, Pistol Pete, are here to keep you up to date on your favorite games, music, and movies. We cover something for everyone, from shooters, comic books, and even generals.
Yeah, I had to lose the beard. I had to shave my head pretty much today. It's getting too hot. And you know how, like, when the barber gets you, they start putting a little bit down. And then my barbers have been MIA. So then it's just like pushing down. I'm just going to start fresh so I look like a 9-year-old girl. So, hey, whatever. What are you going to do? All right, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out there, we are back. It's Demand the Truth. I'm your host, Will Turbot, here on 990WBOB.com, making my return. It's been over a year since I've been at the station, and there's a lot of new people. We're talking to a lot of new people every single minute, and that's because people are sharing this link, 990WBOB.com, the Listen Live link. People are sharing the Facebook Live, and I'm going to put this up on YouTube later. It's going to be all over the place, and thanks to people like you guys donating on Patreon, and thank you guys so much to the people that share this information. And as before we left, I started talking to you guys about my personal journey, and this show is going to be, I'm going to get into some stuff later, but I want everybody out there that doesn't know who I am to know exactly who I am and what I've been up to, and not just who I am, because it doesn't really make a difference who I am, because I'm just some dude, right? But more importantly, what I found out, the factual, non-debatable, empirical evidence that I have found that shows that we are in a tough place. And if people just continually sit at home, you know, go to the mall, watch sports, watch video games, which is all fine, right? Because I relax, I rest too. But if that's all that we do, then all it takes for evil people to triumph is for good men and women to do nothing. And that's been happening for so long now. We've been letting this go for so long, we're almost at the point of no return. So I'm telling you guys my personal story here and how it relates to the bigger picture, and how it relates, right before the break I was getting into the Bilderberg Group, and how the Bilderberg Group is the top power structure in this world. People always argue, oh, it's the Democrats, oh, it's the Republicans, oh, it's the Koch brothers. No, it's the Bilderberg Group. It's the Council on Foreign Relations. It's a trilateral commission. It's all there. It's black and white in record. And I just want to say one thing to my haters out there, right? Because I do get a ton of haters, which is good. Guess what, idiots? I've been right a million times. I was right about the aerosol injections. I was right about global dimming. I was right about the vaccines. I was right about the brain chips. You know what else I was right about? And I got a whole list of things that I was right about. I'm not even going to get into that to rub y'all noses in it. But guess what? I just want you guys to know that I deal with nothing but undeniable facts on this show. There's nothing crazy, nothing out there. It's all facts, right? So it's funny. Even though I deal with nothing but facts, people always will say, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's the one they always throw at you. You're a conspiracy theorist. Well, a conspiracy is two or more people getting together to do something negative. First of all, that happens in every single day, everywhere, across. And not only that, in courtrooms across America and across the globe, people are locked up for conspiracy every single day. Second of all, after the JFK assassination, the CIA, after the Warren Commission came out, that basically was a crock of crap, the CIA was worried about that, and anybody that questioned that, they called them conspiracy theorists as a psychological warfare attack. And it worked, because a bunch of normies that don't do their research were like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, let's just say, for example, I am a conspiracy theorist, which I'm not. I only deal with undebatable, undeniable empirical facts. But guess what? People for years, without any evidence, and as basically just an ad hominem attack, because they're scared to debate or they're scared to deal with the facts, they call me a conspiracy theorist. Well, guess what, idiots? The entire mainstream news just dragged us for 3 years, 4 years. Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. Now, whether Russian collusion was actually committed or not, let me ask you guys a question. What's the difference between conspiracy and collusion? Give you guys another 12 seconds. What's the difference between a conspiracy and a collusion? Nothing! Absolutely nothing! There's no difference. So all you guys called me a conspiracy theorist for years and years and years, just as a personal ad hominem attack, because you guys didn't have the cojones, the critical thought to just digest what I'm saying. So you had to just, oh, you just threw me in a box. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Well, guess what, idiots? Y'all all believed in a conspiracy theory for the last 4 years. Where's my apology? Sorry, I'm a little mad. Okay. But, yeah, so that's basically what happened. So the real conspiracy, if you want to talk about a real conspiracy, it's not did Trump collude with Russia. Because the U.S., on record, first of all, Russia's been trying to interfere in every single one of our elections going back since they could. And the U.S. has not only tried, but successfully interfered, even NPR reports, in over 150, 160 elections. And we're not just talking about hacking, we're talking about assassinating leaders of countries with your tax money. Maybe you guys like to be an accessory to murder. Maybe you guys like to finance murder, but I don't. So anyways, after they went to the Bilderberg group and exposed these guys coming in and who they were and did reports from there, I also went to the airport. And I snuck in too to their private little area there where their private jets landed, and I was asking them questions. And as soon as they were getting off the plane, I started getting in their face, because if these people, and not only that, the Bilderberg group is illegal. It's against the U.S. Constitution. It's also against the Logan Act. It's illegal for elected U.S. representatives to meet behind closed doors to discuss policy, and that's what they've done. It's illegal. So I'm not saying, hey, so I was even nice. I screamed on the cops there too. First I was like, hey, what does it feel like to protect some of the most powerful people in the world? Like trying to sucker, like just start some conversation. And they're like, Pugh. And I was like, huh, oh, okay. So you guys all took an oath to the Constitution, right? Well, you're breaking that oath right now. And you're a bunch of sellouts for sitting here and protecting a bunch of people who have on purpose destroyed this country in their own writings, in their own books. David Rockefeller's memoirs in 2002, Zbigniew Brzezinski's Technotronic Era. All these books. They're all right there. It's all in black and white. And then we went and took a look at Seth Rich. Because Seth Rich, and we're going to come back to Seth Rich and some of that stuff on the other side of things. I got a ton of stuff to get into. Jeez, I got to hurry this darn show up. But Seth Rich and these WikiLeaks tie into everything that's going on right now. Maybe we'll get to that, but I got a lot to get to. This is Demand the Truth. 990WBOB.com. Stay tuned. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Stay tuned on the other side. Please share this video. If you're listening on Facebook, go to 990WBOB.com and go and click the live audio. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Check out the latest sensation in local craft brews. Buttonwoods Brewery, located in Cranston, Rhode Island, at 530 Wellington Ave, focuses on well-hopped IPAs, simple yet sophisticated saisons, and unique and interesting barrel-aged beers. Our beer list, like life, is
Marco, thank you so much for helping me out. I just became this dude's friend, and he's already sharing this information like crazy. And I want to say shout outs to my Patreon subscribers. I want to say shout outs to Dale, not just my Patreon subscriber, but also a member of Demand the Truth, always hooking it up. Thanks to LJ, thanks to Kevin, thanks to Brandon for sharing and donating just $1. Brandon's a great example. He just gives me $1. It costs like $15 to order pizza a month. It's not even a month. He just gives me $1 a month, $12 a year, and I'm very, very thankful for that. I'm very, very thankful. But if you can't do that, share the video, share the information, share the live links. I always say, if you hate my voice, if you hate the way I talk, if you hate the way I look, I don't care. I show you nothing but factual, non-debatable evidence, and I give you worldwide exclusives. So just share the information. You don't even have to share me. Or do your own thing. Start your own videos. Start your own community meetups. Start your own community gardens. Have your own community barbecues. Do your own videos. I need your help. If we all start working together on this, we're going to have no problem here. And then we can all just relax and chill.
I want to tell you of my new favorite place to grab a bite to eat in Rhode Island. Sweet Tea's Cafe and Cupcake, home of delicious, from-scratch, all-natural ingredient sandwiches, salads, and breakfast favorites. But the best things are the desserts. Cakes, brownies, cookies...
Shout out to Rhode Island. That's a good song by Apathy. Yeah, if somebody wants to pin my Patreon, Patreon.com/Demand the Truth in the comments, I'd appreciate it. If not, go to 990wbob.com. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Thank you guys. Big shout outs to Kristen for everything that she does. She's amazing, helping me learn philosophy, keeping me on my game, helping me stay peaceful. Shout out to Josh, all the work that he's done. Shout outs to Lisa. Shout outs to all my friends out there who I make them mad when I'm just debating with them and I go too far. But I love you guys. Left, right, whatever, I love you guys. We're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna do this. You know, at first, when I first did the show, I was like, do we have any hope? But now, over the last few years, I've seen such an outpouring of people doing great work, and you know, so many people that I'm just seeing briefly in the comments have done such amazing things, and I'm so humbled to know them. They're just amazing people. Like, they need to be out here doing their things, and they are doing their things. Some of them can't even do it. Some of them behind the scenes right now. But we're all working together, and we're going to get this done. I need a little more help from you guys. It's not you guys. You guys watching, you guys that support us, good. We just need to reach those other people. So keep sharing and keep spreading this information. We're going to do this.
888-886-6335. Sell your classic ride today at ClassicExperts.com. That's ClassicExperts.com.
You're listening to 990wbob.com, Renegade Radio.
And we are back. Demand the Truth. First show back here on 990wbob.com in well over a year. Thank you guys for rocking with me. And that song that you're listening to coming in is Rashad and Confidence, Rumors of War. I fell in love with that song the first time hearing it, and I ended up reaching out to the creators of it, and they said, hey, you can use it. And you guys really should check that song out. I'll put that in the comments later on. Before the break, I was talking about, you know, first I started the show, hey, what am I doing here? Why am I talking to you? Why am I paying money out of my own pocket to sit here and talk to you guys? Because it's not about getting famous. This is not something that you get famous in. And if you do get famous, they'll call you they'll try to kill you like JFK or Martin Luther King Jr., or they'll try to call you a pedophile, or they'll put you in jail like Irwin Schiff, or all these other people. So if I was trying to get famous, I would have went with my first love, which was comedy. In high school, I was class clown. I was most unpredictable. And my guidance counselor told me, they were like, Will, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, I don't know. And they were like, Will, what do you think about when you're not thinking about girls? And I was like, I don't know. I like to make people laugh. And she's like, do that. You should be a comedian. And then I told my uncle, I was like, hey, you know, I really like making people laugh and making people happy. And my guidance counselor said I should do what makes me happy and what I think about doing naturally. And he said, Are you an idiot? You're so stupid. I hate you. You're not part of the family. No, it didn't go that far, but I was like, okay, maybe that's not a good idea. So if I really wanted to be famous, I would sell out completely, and I would get like an acoustic guitar, and now Wonderwall. You know, but I'm not that kind of person. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm doing this because illegal wars have been going on for longer than some of these people watching have been alive. We have been in an illegal war in Iraq and Afghanistan under Bush, under Obama, and under Trump. And the kids going to war right now weren't even freaking born when they lied about weapons of mass destruction. How many people are dead now as a result of that? Right? That's why I'm doing this, because I'm pissed off about, I have friends that came back, that were Army, that were Marines, that will never psychologically be the same, let alone, this one kid I know, he was on my brother's soccer team. This kid, my brother's an athlete, right? My brother's a very good athlete, still plays soccer and baseball, basketball, all that stuff. My brother's fast. I'm pretty fast, right? But this kid was the fastest kid I've ever seen in my life. This kid was so fast. He went out to Iraq over a freaking lie! Over a lie! And he lost his legs stepping on a grenade to save his friends over a lie. Over 500,000 Iraqis were dead before we even went in there from the sanctions, and they admitted it. That's more than Hiroshima. And they said, is it worth the price? And they're like, well, yeah, we think it's worth the price. We think it's worth the price for 500,000 dead Iraqi people. That's why I'm doing this, right? Because you know what's really freaking crazy is in the 60s and the 70s, when people got upset about things, they took to the streets and they protested. Some of them were violent, but a lot of them were peaceful. And that goes for the Black Panthers, that goes for the white college hippie kids, that goes for everybody across the board. Now we're in the longest war in United States history, and nobody bats an eye. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about our soldiers. You know that 22 veterans die, commit suicide every single day. Now, I'm not saying nobody. I'm saying most people. Because there's people here at 990wbob.com. We did a fundraiser, and we did a lot for veterans here. Not just myself, but even not really myself. Mostly the people here at BOB. And that's why you guys, if you guys are on Facebook, go and listen to the live, like 990wbob.com, right? So I'm not talking about everybody. So, you know, if you're feeling guilty, that's because maybe you didn't do something, right? And most of the people watching this know what's up, right? And so I'm not really talking to you guys. We need to get this to the other people so they know what's going on. So I'm not here to be fancy. I'm not paying money out of my own pocket to be some sort of narcissist. Because if I would, I'd go into a profession that I'd be less likely to get killed and more likely to get famous, right? So I'm healthy and I would never ever hurt myself, by the way. So, you know, and then I went and investigated the death of Seth Rich while I was down there, getting back to what I've been up to. Then we've had some cannabis legalization protests, tried to help that out here. Now they finally, in Rhode Island, they're legalizing weed, which is kind of cool, but it's funny because the state is now paying bills with weed money, but there's still people getting felony charges here in Rhode Island, and they have to go to jail for trying to pay their bills with weed money. But Gina Raimondo and her husband, those scumbags, they can pay their bills with weed money, but they're still locking people up for weed. And then, like I said, I live streamed, even though it was illegal to live stream. They said you can't do it in the Supreme Mother Lodge of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, the headquarters there in Washington, D.C. I live streamed inside. I showed you guys all the crazy things. And they were like, oh, hey, do you see that flag there? I was like, yeah, that's cool. It's a Masonic flag. And he was like, yeah, you know, that was the first flag on the moon. Oh, so it wasn't the United States flag? It was the Masonic flag? Really interesting. But then I didn't just say, oh, Mason's bad, because I don't necessarily think that all Masons are bad. I've had Freemasons on the show, too, to sit here and discuss with me. But, so I went there in their live. I took you guys live, outside of and inside of almost, to some parts of the background there, at least, maybe one day, of Skull and Bones. Then I went back to D.C., and I was live streaming. We are not allowed to live stream where the CIA says specifically no photography or recording. We have the George Bush Center for Intelligence. Then you have Claymore Farm, where John Podesta was slicing up pigs. And then you have a house right over here, a diplomat from the United Arab Emirates, who the Intercept said was involved in human trafficking. His mansion burnt to the ground. Oh, and then right over here, you have a nonprofit run by George Bush, 1,000 Points of Life, and these people are all connected in the WikiLeaks. So I took you guys live from there, right? Then there was the whole RIPTA thing, which is the busing here in Rhode Island. What happened is Rhode Island is so freaking broke, and they can't pay their bills, and they can't manage their own money. It'd be like if me and my spouse, we sat down and we were like, okay, honey, you know what? We are severely in debt. We are like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of debt. And she's like, you know what, Will? You are so right. What should we do? Let's spend more money. And not only should we spend more money, matter of fact, let's steal money from the handicapped, the disabled, and the homeless people. That's basically what Rhode Island did. Rhode Island was like, hey, we're out of money. We're in debt. What should we do? And Rhode Island's evil Satan on their shoulders like, spend more money and try to make up money. So what they did is they said, you know, we're losing money hand over fist because we're incompetent. Do you guys, quick question, do you guys know the only difference between the government and the mafia? The only difference between the government and the mafia is the mafia actually turns a profit. The government is so inept, so incapable, that they lose money and they're doing all this corrupt stuff. So it's absolutely ridiculous. So Gina Raimondo says, you know, let's not fix the budget. Let's not worry about this waste. Let's not worry about all this waste going on in the Department of Transportation. Instead, let's take the bus fare for the disabled, the handicapped, and the homeless people, and let's double it. Let's triple it. And I was like, no, F that. We ain't doing that. And a whole bunch of people went down there, and we was like, no, this is not happening. And some legislators worked with us. Behind the scenes, some non-legislators did too. And we got that overturned here. And then I want to give a big shout out to Josh Friedman right now. Not only for helping with the graphics, not only for helping with the information, but he helped me with this. So we had Bart Van Well. Not only did he used to be on the show, but he was an actual victim of elite child trafficking in the Netherlands. The Demmett case. Dutch Injustice is the documentary on YouTube. Things were so bad, the pedophilia and the child rape was so bad in the Netherlands, and you guys can look this up on YouTube, that Bart and other people had to come to the United States to testify in front of our Congress. If you can believe that, Bart had to do it at that time behind a wall for fear for his life. And Josh and I, mostly Josh, we brought him over here. We gave him a place to stay. We contacted media. We tried to get him asylum. We got him in touch with doctors. We got him in touch with lawyers. And we did the best that we could for this guy. And then after that, many of you guys are familiar, and I still have some people that come and follow my work from the almighty, rest in peace, Doc Marquis. Now, I don't agree and never have with everything that Doc has ever said. However, Doc Marquis, since the 90s, has been out there, even before, since like, I think 79, he's been out there doing things. Rest in peace, just passed away last year. He was like, now, ladies and gentlemen, the Illuminati. And he's been out there, he's been on Oprah, Geraldo Rivera, he's talking about satanic ritual abuse. He's been talking about the corruption and the pedophilia going on, not just in the church, but rampantly within governments everywhere for years and years and years and years. Him and I got on the air on a Christian network, and I was his co-host there doing a show, Tearing Through the Darkness with Doc Marquis. That can still be found online as well on YouTube, and those are getting uploaded. We got some really great shows. I was very, very lucky that Doc took me under his wing. And then another awesome thing that we did here for the first time ever, because I was talking earlier about being nonpartisan. The three things about Demand the Truth are peace, you got to be peaceful, you got to be nonpartisan, and you have to adhere to the Socratic method. So we're going to get into what the Socratic method is, but just Google it. It's real simple. So you guys might see the show one time, and they'll be like, oh, you're a racist bigot. You have a right-wing person on. And then the next day I'll have a left-wing guy and be like, oh, you're a cuck. You're a feminazi cuck or something. So the thing is, I have people from both sides on. Initially today I was going to have one of the straight pride organizers. We're going to bring that to you live next week, hopefully. worldwide exclusive, first ever live interview with the straight pride people. But not only that, we're going to make it even spicier because we're going to have an LGBTQ advocate on the show to debate them. And then I'm going to interject my little questions too. So you can't find that on CNN. You can't find that on Fox News. You can only find that here on Demand the Truth. And that should show you where my heart's at. And that should also show you that I have friends on both sides, right? I have friends on the left and the right, and I love them both. Because you know what? I may not always agree with every single thing that somebody on the left or the right says, but guess what? They're out there doing something. They're out there protesting. They're out there rallying. They're out there sharing memes. They're out there saying things, sharing videos. And they're out there and they know something's wrong and they see injustice and they attack that. And they do something about it peacefully. And I admire the crap out of that. That turns me on. You want to know what turns me on? When I see people, that is the most admirable thing. You know what? You'd be like, oh, he's a left-wing communist. I hate that guy. Oh, that's a right-wing Nazi. Well, at the end of the day, some of those people really are, right? But more often than not, people that are out there doing activism, whether they've been the left, the right, the middle, or wherever, they honestly believe in their heart that what they're doing is right. And they want to change the world, right? And you may not necessarily agree with them, but at least they're out there. And at least some of these people have an open mind to talk about it, right? So these people could be yelling at a television screen about a soap opera or a football game, right? But no, they're yelling at politicians. They're yelling at people to wake up and get involved and to do something. And I don't care if you're on the left or the right. If you're out there, if you're being nonviolent, I love you. And I'm going to work with you. And that's what Demand the Truth is about. And guess what? We here at Demand the Truth, tooting my own horn, and go on my YouTube.com/Demand the Truth, Patreon.com/Demand the Truth. Go on my YouTube, check out all this stuff I'm talking about. You go on my YouTube, you will see a docuseries me and Joshua Friedman put together where we talked about the current political situation since Trump and since this hyper-partisanship. And then we had an interview with the leaders of Resist Marxism. Then we had an interview with a member of Antifa. And then for the first time in world history, ever, not on Fox, not on CNN, on Demand the Truth, on this show right here, we got a member of Antifa to sit down with a member of Resist Marxism and talk, discuss, debate, and have a lively discussion peacefully. There was no blood, there was no urine, there was no piss thrown, there was no horse manure like I saw before, scooped off the ground with somebody's bare hand. No, we sat down and we talked about things. And I'm very, very proud about that. That's one of my proudest things. And then there's a guy named Bishop Tobin. Oh, and he's still around. Yeah, he's the bishop here in Rhode Island. He used to be the #2 guy out in Pennsylvania. Anybody that doesn't know what happened out in Pennsylvania was there were over 300 priests molesting over 1,000 children on record. And what happened? They were moving all these priests around, and the #1 priest that was in the head of all that stuff, he's down. He went down. But guess what they did with the #2, who was head of this for years, when 300 priests were being moved around so that they could rape other children and be hidden. You know what happened to him? He's not behind bars. He's not defrocked. He's the head of the diocese here in Rhode Island. So I went out and confronted him. And on the other side of things, I'm going to talk to you guys about one of the most important things, DCYF, CPS, Child Protective Services, and them, and what they've done, and what I've done, and what I need your help in next. Stay tuned. Demand the Truth. Will Turbot, 990WBOB.com.
Check out the latest sensation in local craft brews. Buttonwoods Brewery, located in Cranston, Rhode Island, at 530 Wellington Ave, focuses on well-hopped IPAs, simple yet sophisticated saisons.
I'm a little upset. Yeah, it's a hot day too.
Our beer list, like life, is always changing. Stop in.
Yeah, sorry for yelling. I realized I yelled just like out of nowhere too, and you're like, you probably have headphones. You're like, ah. Good, thank God.
Avenue in Cranston or at buttonwoodsbrewery.com.
Whew. Wasim, thank you so much. Wasim is out there, always supporting me, always sending me info, always sharing my video. If you guys got $1, send me $1 at Patreon/Demand the Truth, so I can quit my job. I don't have to pay for this. I can just do this free, and I can quit my job, and I can work for you guys. Even if I make $10 an hour, I'll show you guys all my finances. I'll show you all the money, the income I come and get. I will quit my job, and I'll work for you folks every single day, and we can work together and change this world. We are going to do it, whether you guys hook me up or not. Patreon/Demand the Truth. Go to Instagram, Demand the Truth. Check out all my spicy memes. Anybody that's here on Facebook, I put some pretty dark and crazy memes on Instagram, so a lot of exclusive content there. Go to Twitter at Will_Turbitt, TURBITT. Go to my Demand the Truth page on Facebook. I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. I have 1,400 followers. Only 600 of you guys like my Facebook page. Go to YouTube, go to YouTube, Demand the Truth, /Demand the Truth. Go to Facebook, Demand the Truth. Instagram, Demand the Truth. Find me online at Will_Turbitt. Check me out, and if you don't like this video, don't share it. Share the information. Talk about the Bilderberg Group. Let's talk about what's really going on.
Like what you're hearing? Have a business or website you'd like to promote? 990 WVOB offers a terrific...
Anybody out there that wants to sponsor me? I'll say your business if I agree with your business. I'm not doing no Monsanto. You guys got some organic stuff? If you guys got a cool idea, good business idea, I'll sponsor your business.
Surefire, cost-effective way to increase your business or web traffic. Let us help your bottom line without...
And thank you to all my friends for supporting me. Thank you for everybody out there that got my back.
That's EAL at 990WVOB.com. And let us help you get the word out. 990WVOB.com. Since 2007, marketing to the masses.
Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my Shelter Pets, Frankie and Chance, reminding you that when you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
We're about to be back in, just to let you guys know, I'll also be live at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, back on the Red Pill Hardcore TV show.
Sports.
And I'll put the link up for that, but that's on Republic Broadcast Network. Republic Broadcast Network. I'll be live at 11 too.
Tyler Song. I am the Tyler Song. Guys, I don't mean to complain so much.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat after this. I'm gonna get something to eat. Get myself a Cumberland Farms coffee.
I am Tyler Song.
That's my life right there. Cumberland Farms coffee. Maybe I'll get myself a taco.
Sports commentary.
But it feels good to be back, and I love you guys. Alright, everybody, we are back. I don't know if this is the final segment or not. There might be one more after this. It might just be a 15-minute segment. We'll see when the lights start popping up. Who cares? I got enough info to go for days and days and days. But guess what? We'll be back every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Share it. Go to 990WBOB.com. I'll be here, and I'm going to have some crazy awesome guests. I'm going to go through some more stuff before we wrap the show up. And thank you guys for allowing me to sit here and tell my story. And not only tell my story, because it's not just me telling my story, it's also my story and how it connects to the bigger story, the bigger world that we all live in, and how we can all work together to change the world to be a better, more altruistic place. And that's what I'm going to do. So, I don't know, I think Wasim was saying he's going to go eat. Okay, whatever, go eat, I don't care. We all going to eat. I'm going to eat right after this, so take your time. So, before the break, I was talking about, because all this was like, Will, you talk so much junk, but what are you doing? So now I started doing something so people couldn't say that anymore. Not just that, but, you know, when you ever think about, like, the old people in Germany, you ever think about their grandkids saying to them, you know, Franz, when the Nazis were coming and they were rounding up the blacks and the Jews, what did you do, Franz? Well, I joined the SS. No, because what's happening right now, like literally, this country started over 3% tax on tea. We're taxed 30 to 40%. All of our Bill of Rights are gone, right? And I'm not even saying we do violence, right? But it's already worse than 1775. It's already worse than 1933 Germany. It would be Hitler's wet dream if he had the NSA in the military-industrial complex. right? And the CIA. We're living under far worse circumstances. So there's two reasons. There's two other reasons why I do this, right? Besides the fact that I have to. With great power comes great responsibility, and knowledge is power. So when you know that things are going on, it's your duty to tell other people about it. Would any of you people watching this show right now, if your neighbor's house was on fire, would you just sit there and be like, well, I guess Todd's gonna burn to death. Sucks to be him. No, you'd be next door and be like, dun 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 dun, yo, Todd, get out the house. It's on fire, dog. Get out the house. But instead of a fire, I'm just saying, hey guys, there's a bunch of literal Nazis, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and the Bilderberg Group, and they have literally written in black and white what they want to do, and they've been doing it for a very long time, and they've been causing wars, and they've been trafficking children. Might want to help me out here. Right? So, I'm just doing anything that any normal person would do, right? So, what happened? So then I became aware of the 45 children that went missing under DCYF care in 2015. And then I started emailing, and I started calling all of my state reps. Then what I did is we have 75 state reps here in Rhode Island, and I'm still working on this, 38 senators. I'm on my senators now. I created, first I went with the governor, then the lieutenant governor, then I went through all 75 reps, and I'm almost done with the senators now, creating a file on every single one of them. And I go through their Google, I go through their Wikipedia, I go through their official website, I go through their every news link about them, I go through their official Twitter, their Facebook, where their donations come from. I go to all these websites. There's BillTrack 50, Legiscan, there's Ballotopedia, all these websites, and I make a little dossier on all these people. And then I called them if that didn't happen. Then I went up and asked them politely, hey, excuse me, Rep, and you guys can all see this. Over 30 elected officials I went up and asked politely. Then after the first time I asked, then I would confront and expose these people. Because some of these people don't even care about missing kids. They care about giving their wealthy donors tax cuts, but they don't care about these missing kids. So I went up and asked every single one of them, over 30 state reps. And then I testified. Then I confronted the governor 4 times. I was attacked the 4th time. I confronted the mayor. I confronted the head of the ACLU. And we're still working on the DCYF issue, and I've been working behind the scenes with some great state reps from both sides, the left and the right, and we're going to craft some new legislation to make sure that hopefully this doesn't happen again. Although you cannot legislate morality, we'll take a step closer. And then I had to go and testify as well about the terrible things and the death in the DCYF. There's just another maltreated kid. Thank you, Miranda, for bringing that to my attention today in DCYF care. I'm going to have to follow up and research that. But then I've been working behind the scenes, working on these laws, and with the families as well, too. Then I took a trip to the United Nations. And stay tuned, because we're going to go back to the United Nations as well, too. Then we've had people on the show from Ghana, from South Africa, from Netherlands, India, Pakistan, Canada, Costa Rica, all over the world, China. People from everywhere on this show. And then we also had a whistleblower. Not on the show yet, but we've had a whistleblower here in Rhode Island, the Department of Health. And because of, there were people, and it's in the Providence Journal, they had crosses carved into them. People were anally raped where they had stuff stuck in their stomach. And then they tried to cover it up, which created a backlog, which is over 6,000 people, vulnerable people, mentally ill, elderly, disabled people, all these people. They're trying to cover it up, and now there was 0 backlog, and now because of this whistleblower and they're trying to cover it up, there's over 6,000 things in their backlog, and this is resulting in people's dying. So I went up and asked the head of the Department of Health here in Rhode Island, hey, do you know about this whistleblower? Do you know what's going on with the backlog? Oh, I don't have the faintest idea of what you were talking about, young sire. And I was like, oh, for real? 'Cause I do, and I'm just a dude with a Ninja Turtles hat, and you're like the Department of Health head. So I know that you know about this. So why are you lying to me? So then I went back and asked her again, and she was like, "Oh yeah, oh that whistleblower, oh yeah, the backlog. Yeah, we're working on that. So we're gonna follow up with that too. So I just want you guys to know I'm putting my nose to the grind here and what I'm doing because." I'm just giving examples of all the things that I've done because also, and oh, do I have one more segment left? Is that it yet? No. That's it. Ah, crap. All right. So I'm running out of time, but we're going to be back next Tuesday I've went and talked about the NEA, what's going on in the NEA. I've confronted Bill and Hillary Clinton, went out to Flint. I'm going to be on the Red Pill Hardcore show. I got the blockchain thing going on. We've discussed black genocide, talked to neuropsychologists, people that have 4 degrees from MIT, multiple professors, TED Talk winners, CIA, award-winning whistleblowers, forensic expert, presidential candidates, many, many more. I need your help. Go to Patreon/Demand the Truth. Go to YouTube/Demand the Truth. Share this info, donate, and I will see you next Tuesday. I freaking love you guys. Demand the truth!